live. I'm really trying to make this happen. I'm really trying to make a theme song happen for our show. Welcome to the Social Universe, everyone, and welcome to our first episode of our travel segment with Curious Pavel. What's up, Pavel? How's it going?
It's going great, and I'm super excited to be in that place.
In the great place?
In that place. It is a great place, actually. I really enjoyed it. I'm looking forward. I'm aiming for 100 episodes.
100. I love it. Great. Let's
go for 100, and then we think what's going to happen next.
Okay, so 100 episodes. We got this. This is number 1. Only 99 more to go. Well, technically 100 because we barely started this one.
Yeah.
So I just want to kind of tell people what they can expect from this because I just was live on Sue Live. Now we're live on Sue Live, but like the television channel. So just to distinguish. So I went live from Sue Live's page, told everyone that we're starting this today, got them all excited. We have 150 people that I'm sure followed us right on over, right? Because they're the best. And so, I really pitched this sort of for aspiring travel vloggers or anyone who's really looking to potentially make travel content and doesn't really know where to start. They have an interest in travel, maybe an interest in history, or honestly, I feel like anyone can really benefit from this because you've learned a lot that really is applicable to really any sort of subject. So, whether it's you guys want to start a channel based around food or you're looking to post more about fashion, like I really think there's so much here that you can leverage in any type of content that you're looking to post. So, Pavel, we've had you on this show before as a guest. Why don't you just give people a couple sentences sort of about who you are, where you live, just in case they missed that wonderful segment we already had.
Yep, sure. So my name is Pavel. I'm from Bulgaria. It's a small, little, tiny, but very beautiful and welcoming country in Southeast Europe. I have lived in different countries. Now I live in London, where I do different types of videos, mainly travel related, and I work from here now.
Amazing. And so, Pavel, how long have you had your YouTube channel?
So the YouTube channel started in December 2016. So was that 4 years ago. And
how long were you contemplating doing something like that before you actually got started?
Not even a month, a few weeks.
So you acted on that.
Let's go. Quickly. Yeah, I'm a hands-on. Before I was a lot of planning. When I first arrived in England, I found out that I have a friend who is into keeping books and creating companies. And I found out it's quite easy. And I'm like, okay, let's create a company. Now is the time. So I created a entertaining company and I bought a bouncy castle. And yeah, I know, right?
And where's bouncy castle now?
No, I sold it. I know, right? It was so fun. But I remember that I wrote in different pieces of paper, different things that I'm going to do, the website, how the website page is going to do. I put all these pieces of paper on my wall, and it was so much strategizing. It took me like 3 or 4 months. Fair point. That needed some strategizing because I needed to find a person to store the castle, to drive it because I didn't have a car. I needed some logistics to be sorted, but it was too much strategizing. And then all thing, lasted for a few months because it wasn't, sustainable. However, now I'm more hands-on. I just do a basic research. I dive in. And then if it doesn't work, then it doesn't work. Let's move to the next thing. But it's time wasting if you're just strategizing. It's do. Look at this.
Do more. Yes. Well, so I think that is a great first lesson for anyone that's looking to get started in this, right? Yes, it can take a certain amount of organization. It takes ideas, write down your ideas, but then you got to execute them. Just do it. And like Pavel said, if something doesn't turn out the way you expected, learn from that experience and move on to the next thing. Or if there's a way to remedy that, or maybe even turn it into a learning experience for others, that's a cool angle to approach it too. We're going to show some of Pavel's glow up today, right? From his
before we get there, I just want to add something.
Yeah.
It's exactly as you said. It's really like that. But if we flip it to travel content creation, as this talk is more like that one, it goes to perfectionist because I was like that at the beginning. I wasn't posting my videos because oh no, I need to change this. Oh, let me change the music. Let me add some more. And it's taking time, and you're taking time to create that perfect video. But perfect is subjective. What's perfect for me may not be perfect for me. For you, it's not perfect for me, right? So you're gonna lose time thinking, is the color of the subtitles blue or red? Just post it, learn from the feedback, and move to the next thing. Don't be perfectionist.
As Tony Priddle likes to say, and he's one of our other recurring guests, you're perfect as you are. You're already perfect. So whatever you are posting, it's true though. Like whatever you're posting has a purpose. You know what I mean? So like, don't let your ego talk to you. Post it, move on. That's it. So let's show a little bit, again, everyone starts somewhere, I think too, like let go of expectations. You know what I mean? We all start like, oh my God, you guys should have seen the first reels that I ever made for myself, like as an actor, as a host, like
maybe we can see it next time.
I will be posting it soon. I actually am getting ready to show some more behind the scenes stuff of my own content and sort of like mistakes that I made doing this, because I think it's really interesting and I think it's really helpful because it just shows people that, again, like it took many years for me to get to where I'm at, and there's still plenty of stuff that I'm learning along the way. Like I just got a new light. Like I was taping my old ring light. Now I have a softbox. Like there's all kinds of stuff that you continue to learn. And so I think it is really helpful to show the process and the journey because it can help another person save themselves some time. And that's the other thing, right? Like don't keep all your knowledge to yourself. Sharing is caring. Like if you recognize that you're your own unique product and there's no one else out there like you, then you can be a little bit more abundant with what you're learning so you can help others because you're not scared that someone's going to take your, lane from you per se.
What's going to take? It's not like you're making money of something that it's only for you. There is plenty of money for everything. Like anyone who's watching this or listening, just if you have any questions, you can always send me a message on any platform. I'm happy to help you. And I agree, sharing is caring unless it's food. Then I don't share. I keep it for me.
I'm not great with sharing food either. So that's perfect. If you and I ever meet in person, you get your meal, I get my meal, and we'll just put a big wall up in the middle.
Yeah, amazing.
Okay. So Jordan, if you can cue up the green screen video, let's just play a little bit of that so that people can see. This is one of the first videos that Pavel made, never to be seen on his YouTube.
Never.
So who are we? We're curious people who like to travel. We like to explore new things, and we love saving money on the way, especially me. So we started finding unusual places, unknown things, a cheaper way of exploring, and then we decided to put them in a website. Luckily for you, we don't mind sharing. Okay. So who are we? We're curious people who like to travel. We like exploring new things and love saving money on the way, especially me. So we started finding unusual places, unknown things, a cheaper way of exploring, and then we decided to put them in a website. And luckily for you, we don't mind sharing.
So embarrassed of. I thought that was a beautiful video, Pavel. You got a green screen.
You know what? It's funny. You watch this, and this is actually, I recorded this in the canteen, in the tea room at my work. I was working night shifts at the reception. So that was supposed to be my break where I have a short nap. But I just put a green screen, which was in my locker, set up the green screen, and then just recorded something quickly. That was for a website I was thinking to create. The idea was to create, after the Bouncy Castle, that was the thing. The idea was to create a website with recommendations, and all the recommendations were affiliate links. But that didn't work out.
So we went from this introductory video that, again, I think you said you made a couple months, weeks before you actually made your first video for YouTube, yeah?
Yeah.
So we made this, and then did you watch it back and you thought to yourself, okay, here's where I want to improve. These are the things I'm going to do differently, or what was your, because I want to show than what the first video on your YouTube looked like, so people can see the difference, because they're already just in that short amount of time was quite a big difference. So how did you go from A to point B? Like what was the sort of process that happened there?
When I did this video, I was thinking, I didn't think anything that is to be improved. I thought it's really good. I thought it's great.
Yeah.
I really loved it.
Now you're like this.
But that's the thing, when you learn new things, your mind expands, right? And that's how you see, you go backwards and it's like, oh, what was I thinking?
Yeah.
This all happened, the starting of YouTube channel and recording this for this website, they all happened at the same job. So I started this for the website. It didn't work. I was like, oh, damn, that didn't work. And then it hit me that if I can start creating my own videos, I can search for my own audience. And then I went for, okay, I love traveling. Let me tell travel stories about monuments around the city. So I started looking for people, how they do their videos, but I didn't copy anyone. I don't think you should ever copy anyone. I think you should take something from here, take something from here, take it, then you compile it's your persona, your thing. So I think the only thing that was different from the first video was me watching other people's videos. I didn't practice anywhere.
I love that. And it's so true. Like, use other people's content as a source of inspiration, not imitation.
Yes. Oh, so well said.
Thank you. Thank you, Pavel. Thank you very much. Please don't copy that. Thanks.
Okay. Okay.
So I want to show everyone. So we just showed you video A. That was the first video that Pavel made. It did not make it to his YouTube channel. Then he continued to watch. He kind of had this idea that he wanted to storytell through his traveling and his love for history and show these sorts of landmarks and places. So then we have this first video that he made that did go on his YouTube channel. So Jordan, please show them a bit of the Crimean War video.
Hello everybody, you're watching Curious Pavel. Today we're at Waterloo Place and we're going to talk about the Crimean War. So, the Crimean War. What better place to talk about the Crimean War than the Crimean War Memorial? But you can see, we're not there yet. We decided to show you the way to the memorial, not just pop out there. So here, now we are at Piccadilly Circus. It's quite an impressive one. You can make really good photos. And if you come during the night, it's even more impressive. It's Piccadilly Circus underground station, so if you take exit number 3, you'll find yourself here. Let's go down and we'll talk on the way. So if you continue that way, you find yourself in Covent Garden, which has M&M store.
So this is a pretty impressive for your first YouTube video. I thought I was pretty impressed. I think you just are naturally charismatic on camera, and also you really like what you're doing, and you're generally curious as to the stories and the history and the information that you're providing. So, and I went actually on your channel to see how people responded in general to your videos, and it's really incredible because you've built quite a community for yourself, and I think that this is something we're going to touch on in a bit, right? It's not necessarily about the number of views, the number of followers, the number of subscribers, right? It's like this community that you can build for yourself of people who are looking forward to your videos and the product that you have to offer. And so one of the things that I saw as a comment on this video that I loved was someone was like, I don't know how you're navigating like such a busy tourist destination and like doing it in this way. So it's, yeah, I mean, it's pretty impressive. Do you feel like you learned anything from doing that? Or is there anything that maybe we didn't see that happened behind the scenes that was difficult to navigate when filming that video? I mean, you had a fancy introduction. You know, sort of took people on this tour. You did have crowded streets. Like, there's obviously an element of being outside, the sound quality with that. Like, talk us through some of the things maybe that you had to deal with when you made that video that you were like, I'm going to do this better next time, or I'm going to do this differently next time, or whatever?
So the thing is here, when I started a YouTube channel, I didn't know anything about. I knew about presenting on stage, but not in front of the camera. I didn't know editing, filming, light. I don't know. I didn't know any about that. However, I started popping up questions like, "Hey, is there somebody who wants to film for me, and we can create a channel together and just collaborate on that?" And I got all sorts of comments like, "Why don't you get yourself a selfie stick? Get out of here with these free jobs." So I was about to get myself a selfie stick and just start educating myself. However, one of my friends said, "Oh, you know what? Actually, my brother is into this type of things." So he was actually filming and he was editing at that point. I didn't know anything. One point at this video, you see people interacting from the audience. You know, there was a guy who appeared in the video for 3 or 4 times and his friends were laughing. So all type of things are happening when you're shooting videos.
That's amazing that you found that sort of collaboration that really enhanced sort of what you needed at that moment. Because one of my questions was going to be like, I mean, it definitely looks like there's someone filming you. This isn't you just like navigating the streets by yourself. So are you still working with the same person, or have you since moved on to collaborate with others? What's been your journey there?
So we started together, but at some point our minds just were going different directions. So I wanted to put more time and more effort in that, while his thinking wasn't. I think we just had a different interest at the end. But I'm really grateful for him that he joined, and I learned to edit and shoot by myself after that. And if I was going to start the YouTube channel without him, yes, but it wasn't going to be that fast.
Wait, so your videos now you're shooting by yourself?
Yeah.
You don't have another person operating a camera?
No.
That's amazing. I need to learn how you do that. So that brings us up to date. Let's take a look at one of your most recent videos, right? Which is the Italian Forrest Gump video.
Italian Forrest Gump.
You may have heard of Forrest Gump.
What's the matter, Mom?
But did you know that last week Italy found its own Forrest Gump? That's right, his name is Vincenzo.
Hey, Vincenzo, play me a tune, eh?
Well, we actually don't know his name, but it's much easier to visualize the story. Plus, I like Vincenzo. So Vincenzo is from Como, and one day he had an argument with his wife. What Vincenzo decides to do next is to...
What is this noise? What are you doing?
I'm making a video.
No, it's nonsense. The videos have to stop. Stop!
Let me take you outside. After the scandal, Vincenzo decided to go for a walk. So he walked, and he walked, and he walked. The police found Vincenzo a few days later. Not dead though, still walking. That happened in the south side, at the Adriatic coast. Vincenzo was spotted wandering the streets of Fano at 2 a.m. That's 450 kilometers away from his home. What was he eating, you may ask?
Grazie mille.
It appears people were giving him food along the way. The moral of the story is the interesting part here. But before we get to that, let me tell you how the story ends. Vincenzo stayed in a hotel that night. He had to pay his accommodation and a 400 euro fine because there was a curfew in Fano at that time. The next day, his wife drove 450 kilometers to pick him up. It would be right to say that everyone can take a different conclusion from this story. Women would say, don't argue with your man. Men would say, everything's possible. But to me, this story reminds me to the people I talked to in the past, which said, I don't have enough money to travel. Traveling is too expensive. To me, this story shows how little is actually needed to do something. And sometimes the push comes from a place that we don't really expect.
Oh, you fancy, huh? Look at this. You have really, this has been the ultimate glow up, because now you got the lighting, you got the sound, you got the fancy animations, the editing skills, the cut to pop culture references. Like, I mean, talk to me a little bit about I mean, I'm curious too. Oh, look at that. As to, because obviously this particular segment was a bit more static, so you can set up your camera on a tripod, make sure everything is good. So I am a little bit interested in seeing some of the stuff where you're more on the move, and seeing how that compares to your original sort of on the move travel type thing. But even your angle here is so, like, it's really interesting because I feel like you approach the storytelling element differently every time. Like sometimes you focus more on like the history behind it. Like obviously this was a bit different. So tell me why, I guess, you chose this clip to demo today, sort of where you're at currently. And also, yeah, I guess anything that you want to talk about that will catch us up to speed.
So first of all, you said I have my light. I didn't have any light.
No lighting.
That's natural light. So when it comes to filming, I just have a window and just put my tripod in front of the window, and that was it. So and when it comes to filming, a big tip for everyone: nothing beats natural light, unless it's super harsh. Like if you're in Greece in August at noon, that's super harsh, right? But nothing beats natural light. And then when you start doing things, you start noticing these type of things and you just start implementing them. Why I chose this clip is, the reason for that is my mind is not only about create. My mind is also about documenting. So I often will post things like interviews or just podcast videos or just some segments of videos, which are not very creative. What I mean very creative is not like variety of shots and scripting and voiceovers and animations. However, this was one of the last things that I created, so that's why I wanted to feature it today.
Awesome. What do you do when it's raining and you want to shoot something lighting wise?
When it's raining, you mean outside?
No, I mean, like, if you had planned, see, I guess you'd be like, well, I'd just shoot another day then. Right?
Exactly. You know it. What you can do is you can either start working on something else or do the voiceover for the video.
There you go. Mm. That's how you do it. Okay, well, I use a softbox. Before that, I used a ring light.
Fancy.
So, and I think that this is a really good, though, example. There's never one way to do things. Like, and I also second that, like, if you can get that natural light, 100%. This window over here, the reason I sit here is because it does give me natural light. I just have to usually balance it out from the other side. And right now it's snowing, so I have to go live, so I have to have light somehow. But it's snowing here in New York. Oh God, more snow. I feel like we've been getting snow every day. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about what I thought was really interesting, which is the idea of content creation, opening additional doors, and being able to sort of leverage your content creation for money, goods, that sort of thing. So we have a couple of videos to demonstrate this, but I wanted to, I guess, at what point in your journey did you start to consider the idea that you could do, let's say, trades? So like, hey, I'll do a video on, this transportation system and you give me free transportation for the day. At what point in your journey did you start to like utilize that?
I think it's a big question you need to answer to every creator. You need to answer at the beginning, why are you doing this? Why are you starting it? My why was because I wanted to be on stage, right? And because I went to agencies and they told me no, my mind was, okay, if I do this and just showcase my work and follow my progress, as you see, the first video is like, then like, oh, and if I just keep my work there and just showcase it, that was my idea. I never wanted to be a YouTuber. That was my idea, and and it worked. It worked well for me. At what point? I'm not sure, but as I stored some of these videos, like travel videos, like visit this place. Now I had some sort of a signature type of videos that are travel related. And I was able to go to a company and say, look, I do this type of videos. What about I do a video for you and you give me this for free? Did I come up with this? No. I just network. I either found that through events and people talking about it, or I read it somewhere. But it's a really powerful thing. Really powerful thing.
So we have an example of a video that Pavel did this with. I would like to use the cheapest way to tour London, the London Pass video, to sort of demo. I think it's a really great example. You essentially are still within your brand, right? Because you're talking about the way to get around London that makes the most sense if you're trying to keep it to be affordable. And then you got to essentially utilize the system for free for creating this video. So it works within your helpfulness of trying to help somebody else learn about how to tour London. And then you yourself are able to tour London, actually be someone who's testing the product and then explaining it to others. So let's take a look at the London Pass, cheapest way to tour London video.
Hey, congratulations on choosing London as your next travel destination. You will love it. Now the question is, how to explore London cheaper? Well, look no further, because you have landed on the perfect video. The Curious Pavel team is collaborating with London Pass to give you the best experience ever and the cheapest one. By the way, if you live in London, you will also love this video. One London Pass for one day costs £75.
Oh.
I know, it's a bit pricey. You don't want to give this money away.
No!
And trust me, I feel the same way. But just wait for the end of this video when I will break down the price for you. Here is how this works. London Pass has a list of attractions. You can buy a pass for one day.
So we're going to definitely do a whole nother episode on sort of collaborations in this way and sort of how to leverage, you know, your channel or your content to either get sponsorships, partnerships, free goods. But that's just one example of sort of, you know, content creation, like paying for itself or assisting you in doing the content creation, because that's both providing the subject matter for the video and then also giving you something useful to save you money. So a second thing that Pavel has been able to sort of encounter is money, like actual money. Woohoo! So he's won contests with his videos that have paid him money, which again, I think we can do a whole nother episode sort of on where to find these sort of contests, how to submit for them. And then also we've got a little money dance and a sort of B-roll clip of how he made $100 via PayPal. So let's take a look at Pavel's money dance.
Pavel? Hi. Your B-roll video has been accepted. What's your PayPal?
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money. Money, money,
Dollar, dollar. Dollar, dollar.
Let's talk a little bit about the company. It's called B-roll, and they contacted me, as I told you. So Rachel sent me an email. Hey Pavel, we connect with brands, this and that. Please download our application. And she gives me a link. I didn't even open it. It looks...
Oh yeah, get that kerching.
Tell me the money.
Wait, so tell me what it, I genuinely want to know. So what was this? How did you get paid? What was the whole thing?
So here's the thing about the bureau. Let me tell you about first the bureau. It was quite early in the journey, so I had really few subscribers. Somehow they found my videos, and somehow they thought I looked good on camera. So they sent me an email, and it's like, hey, we have this app, just download it here, and it looks super spammy, and I ignored it. However, they came back to me a week after that. Hey, I just checking if you managed to check the email. Okay. Now, this is more legit, so then I downloaded, and the only thing I needed to do is download a game on my phone, play it a bit, record all of it, react to it, and then send it to them. And then once that happened, they just sent me, this email asking about my PayPal, and that was it. It's super crazy.
And then you made money. You made $100.
Yeah. And I didn't have many subscribers, and that's what I say, because these videos that, okay, maybe it's blogs or whatever you're doing, but in this case, it's videos. It's not just, chasing numbers. It's showing people yourself. So people may like your personality. They not all the time will be looking for the numbers. They will be liking your personality. So it's really a case to showcase yourself. And then the London Pass video, I sent an email to London Pass. I either didn't get a reply or they said no. However, a half a year after that, they sent another email. They changed the person who was responsible for taking these decisions, and then they said yes.
Interesting. So at that point, you were able to sort of leverage the fact that you had some more subscribers, say, hey, this is the quality, these are the kinds of videos I made, this is my channel. Would you, or what would you say, where were you at when you did that collaboration?
Well, when I did that collaboration, I was, in a way, wasn't far away from what I'm now. I mean, I don't know. I don't even remember. Was it a year ago? I mean, anyway, I was at a healthy, let's say, numbers. However, I don't think they did it so much for the numbers. They did it for the publicity. But the fact that amused me, let's say, was that they said no at the beginning, but because I came back to them and double checked, they said yes. So same with Bureau. I said no at the beginning, but they came back to me again, double check, and then I said yes. So I think from now, not from now, but in recent times, when I send email to somebody, I send a reminder on my phone to check with them in a week, because I send so many emails, I forget about them. They're just gone. And then just as they're gone for me, they can be gone for the person as well. And that's a conversation we're never going to happen again. So
such good advice. It's super solid. I do the same. Like I have to follow up because people will forget. I mean, think about how many times you get an email or a text, right? You clock it, but then you move through your life because you're doing something in the moment, and then it just goes into the abyss. Yeah. So if you follow up, like, you're giving yourself an extra shot to get that yes that you might have gotten the first time if you had just hit them at a different time. So that's a really solid piece of advice. So, okay, we've talked about some of the opportunities in terms of collaborations and sponsorships and all of that sort of, and paid opportunities. And again, at some point, we'll even talk about some of the contests that Pavel has entered and then won money from. But now let's move into the numbers, right? Like the metrics that I think everyone's so obsessed with, getting the numbers, getting the followers, getting the views, getting the subscribers. So talk to me a little bit, like, have you noticed any correlation between any particular type of video or content and higher numbers?
Probably I'm not the best person to talk to about numbers, because I don't care about the numbers. Really, I really don't care about numbers. As I told you, I didn't start this to be a YouTuber, but to do my work. So when I do a video, I don't. Maybe it's a bad thing, but I don't check trending subjects or what's happening in the world. I just find something like, oh, that's interesting. That's really curious. Maybe I should do a video on that. And then I research, and then I do, if it's interesting, I do a video on it. Correlation, I don't know, but I send you an example that you're about to show as well. It just shows that YouTube and the other platforms, you should not aim to please the algorithm. You should aim to please the human. Because if people are watching your stuff, think about it, like every platform wants you to be on the platform as much as possible so they can show you ads to make money. So if you make content that is easy consumable by the viewers, they will stay more, they will want more, and then the platform will be recommending your content more. So basically what you need to do is just create content for humans.
Yeah, I think that is totally true. I also think do what excites you, because not everything's going to hit. So if you're at least making content that makes you happy, then you're going to be happy, right? Like you can't, even if you think it's the best, if you are trying to guess what you think people like, first of all, you can't, you can't do that. We don't know what other people are like. So do what you like. That will translate to the product itself, what you're making. And therefore, like, at least you were happy making it. If it hits, great. If it doesn't, at least you were happy doing it. And I also think the video we're about to show you that got Pavel like a ton of views is a really good example that these days, sometimes it's not the best produced video. Like if you guys have noticed the things that go viral, even on, let's say, TikTok or, these other platforms, like a lot of times they're the simplest things where someone is just having a life moment, a funny thing. It's like shot with just their cell phone. Like people like to see the human side of things that sometimes aren't overly produced and polished. So let's tee up, Jordan, the Uganda video that got Pavel 40,000 views on YouTube.
The southern hemisphere.
Explain us. Did you know?
We'll be draining anti-clockwise direction. Anti-clockwise. Yet my name's Huntington Kalunji. Who's gonna
Kalunji.
Yes, sir.
Nice to meet you,
Nice
Kalunji.
meeting you, brother. So right now we are doing what we call geographical water experiment, caused by the Coriolis effect. After pouring, you have to stabilize it, make the water come down.
Okay.
After calm down the water, we drop this flour on top to see whether it's going anti-clockwise.
Yeah.
So the farther you move from the equator, the faster it goes. The closer the equator, the slower. So let's go north and see what will happen.
Let's go and see.
What is he doing?
Magic. He's a sorcerer. Oh, that's exactly on the equator.
The equator, the last.
So this was not a lot of fancy video production. This was sort of like man on the street, Pavel on his journey. Like, this is what a lot of you are probably taking with your cell phones when you travel somewhere. So just goes to show you, like, if you're shooting it, put it up. Like, you never know what's going to happen. And I think that just is a nice little bookend to kind of where we started this segment today, which was like, just do it, just make it, just put it out there. Right?
Yeah, just do it. Yeah. I mean, this video, again, I didn't put it for the views. I put it because I thought it was interesting for me. And again, I went to Uganda, and it's all thanks to, I went there as a videographer. So it's all thanks about all this YouTube channel that I started. But I went to Uganda, that was really interesting for me. And at the beginning, this video was very slow on views. However, the way YouTube works is at some point, somebody can upload a video that goes big, and then you have similar information in your video to that video, then YouTube will recommend it. And at some point, my video started to picking up. And what I found out in the comments is people are actually divided. No, this is not true. Are you crazy? This is totally true. And actually what this does is drives more traffic to the video, which makes it even better. So controversy is sometimes really good.
Look at that. Have an opinion. Well, the thing is, you didn't even necessarily have an opinion. You just kind of like were the narrator, like the person showing the thing. And you let everyone else have their own opinion. And that's sort of what drove traffic to the video. So it's really interesting. So guys, that's it. This is our first, now we can say only 99 left, Pavel. 99 episodes left till we hit 100. So this is our first travel segment. We'll be back every week talking specifically to anyone who's looking to sort of expand upon making better travel content, whatever that looks like for you. Maybe you like the historical approach to it. Maybe you like more of a food approach to travel. Maybe you like the scenery. But no matter what, it's going to be all things from editing, shooting it, the storytelling behind it, actually posting your stuff, anything that Pavel's learned along the way that he can relate to you. So thank you so much for coming on here today, Pavel. Job well done, I'd say. And I will see you next week.
I'm already looking forward to it. See you next week.